everything I ever planned didn't work. I have to tell you,
What would you change in the dance sport world?
it's only the bloody foxtrot. Come on, guys. What do you want to be in control for?
What is something unique you did and that changed your life?
I would have been an incredibly successful retired multi-millionaire. However, I chose to have fun. And I think choosing to have fun is really what it's all about.
Welcome to Break the Routine. Today's guest is Mr. Michael Shelton, a fascinating figure in dance sport whose story goes far beyond the competition floor. Michael has worked at the heart of the dance world through adjudication, governance, and ethics, while also building a life across the law and theater. He brings a rare perspective of fairness, authority, and what it really takes to protect trust in an art form that lives between sport and subjectivity. Michael, welcome to Break the Routine.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here. I'm surprised to be here. I have no idea why you asked me, but it's lovely to be here.
Why do you think I ask you? How many years are you in the dance industry? Abroad, the dance industry.
One way and another. I've been on the edge of it for probably nearly 50 years.
Oh, just 50 years.
Oh, yeah, well you know, I'm still learning.
That's a good
No,
good
but
perspective.
probably stems from my first introduction was in 1977.
All
So-
right. And you started with theater.
I was interested in theatre. Yes, it's. Have we got time? Can I just
Yes,
give
please
you the background?
go for it, Mike.
Okay. So I am, by profession, I'm in the law. I spent 32 years as a judge, but before that, I was in practice, and I got involved in the theatre, and I went to a restaurant in 1977 with some actor friends, and there I met, by coincidence, Mr. Peter Maxwell.
Oh, nice.
So next year, January the 17th, I've told him we've got to celebrate 50 years of knowing each other. And he introduced me, really, he had just retired from competition in those days,
wow.
only just retired.
Yeah.
And was setting up his dance theatre and everything. And that was my introduction.
Oh, wow.
So it's a long time.
Yeah, but so you went actually quite from the start in the dance sport side of dance.
Not
yeah?
so much at the very beginning, but the way I was introduced to Peter was that he was having dinner with a very attractive girl. And when he got up to talk to somebody else, I thought I'd talk to the girl. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know if they might have been on a hot date for all I knew. I didn't know. I went to talk to the girl. Of course, got absolutely nowhere. And when he came
Not
back
on that occasion.
not with her, no. When he came back to the table, we got chatting, and he said, no, I said to him, what do you do? Oh, he said, I'm world professional Latin American dance champion. Well, which I wasn't expecting. I had no idea. I said, what do you do? I said, well, I'm a solicitor. And he looked at the girl. He said, that's really weird. I was just saying to this lady that I wish I knew a solicitor. Now I do. And that's how it started.
Wow.
That's exactly how it started. So there we are.
That's brilliant. So Peter introduced you to the dance sport.
And he introduced me to the dance sport, yes. And dancers started coming to me really from all over the world for various things.
Yeah, of course, they came to the UK for the big competitions.
And I used to get to see them, and I started going to competitions, and it developed from there.
It developed from there, yes. When was the year when you started with theater? If we are going back in time.
Sort of 1974.
Oh, so a little bit earlier.
Probably actually 73, something like that, 73, 74, something like that. That was an accident. Everything I ever planned didn't work. I have to tell you, it didn't work.
I love it. But you were ready for the accident.
Well, you just go with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Actually, the story starts with a friend of mine having a nose job. And
in 1973.
Oh, yeah. And I went to see her in hospital afterwards.
Wow.
And, near the hospital, there was a small theatre, and they sometimes had evening cabarets. So I thought I'd go in to pick up a leaflet to see what was on. And they didn't have anything planned, but I picked up a leaflet for a show at the Theatre Royal Stratford East 15.
That's fine. Okay.
I went at the weekend to see the show that was on there, and it wasn't the best thing I'd ever seen, even then. But it was an incredibly good night out.
That's good.
There was community singing of old music hall songs in the bar, which was just the whole atmosphere. It was like a party atmosphere.
Beautiful.
The minute you got there, it was just
Beautiful.
wonderful. And as we were leaving, there was a thing on the side saying, become a friend of the theatre, £1.
Oh.
So I sent in my
Great.
£1. Oh, you could have bought a house then for £2. So,
Oh.
so I sent, no, I know it's not quite true. I sent in my £1.
A room in a house.
And some months later, I got a letter saying, we'd like to try and make the Friends of the Theatre into an active group.
Nice.
We're having a meeting, come along. So I went down to Stratford, and we had a very interesting meeting because it was in the bar and nobody took any notes. So they called the meeting again for 3 weeks later.
I love that.
Nobody knew what had gone on. So they called the meeting again for 3 weeks later. And this time they closed the bar. We had it in the auditorium. Someone was taking notes, and I was young and enthusiastic. And I shouted out a few ideas. And then the people who were running the meeting said, right, we want a steering committee. And 38 people I'd never seen in my life turned around, pointed at me and said, we'll have him. And that is actually how it started.
Did they knew your solicitor?
They didn't. I didn't shout about it
right.
at the time. But and that's really how it started.
Oh,
and
right.
then in November 75, I was at a press night at the theatre, and I met an actress that I'd been introduced to once when I was 15. And I went up to her and I said, do you remember me? And she said, no, push off. And we became very good friends.
That's a good introduction.
Right up to the time she died 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And she was at the time the associate director of the Young Vic Theatre in Waterloo. And she just directed a play based on the work of John Lennon.
Wow.
And she invited me down, and I went down, and I became known at the Young Vic Theatre. Chinese whispers, everything was absolutely wrong about the way I became known. It started, who's that? And it was, oh, that's a lawyer friend of, her name was Denise, a lawyer friend of Denise. And then it became, that's Denise's lawyer, which was untrue. She'd never had a cause to have a lawyer. To that's a theatrical lawyer, and suddenly I started getting work from there. That's exactly how it happened.
That's beautiful. That's a good introduction to the theater world through your abilities as a solicitor, and also to pivot towards the theater world, because I'm sure it was different.
I think it's more a tribute to the fact that I talk to people quite easily.
Yeah.
Definitely. But those were great days. I mean, the parties they used to give. There was a fixed company, and they used to let them have the whole theatre for a party about 4 times a year. I actually organised my holidays so that I could be sure to be there for the parties, because they were sensational parties.
Talking about going with the flow kind of thing, I was going with the flow. Nobody knows, but actually we are here in this studio and in this office right now because of you.
That's right.
Remember we had that meeting in central London.
That's in Chelsea.
Yeah, in Chelsea, when we were discussing DanceSport England development.
That's right.
And then you were like, oh, I have a friend that has a beautiful dance studio, and he would he doesn't use it anymore.
Do you know anyone?
And it's literally 15 minutes away from me. I was like, no, it cannot be. Then I came to see the space, and this is how we started
That's
OMDS.
absolutely right. That's right. I've forgotten about that. Yes,
I didn't.
There we are.
Because
blame me for everything.
Yes, OMDS wouldn't be what is today if we wouldn't have had that meeting, probably.
Very strange.
There you go. We all go with that
Those-
flow because you're in a lot of committees. You're in a lot of
Yes,
boards. Yeah.
I've done so many over the years. I did 29 years as a director of the National Youth Jazz Orchestra.
Oh, I
You
didn't know
you
that
did
one.
not know that,
I
did
didn't know
you?
that one.
I did 8 years on the board of the Young Vic.
Yeah, nice.
I did, the one I'm probably most proud of is 23 years saving from demolition Wilton's Music Hall in the East End.
Oh, wow.
And I claim responsibility for the fact that it is still there and
Standing.
operating as a successful venue.
Well done.
Have we got time to talk about? Can
Yes,
I just give you the
please.
breakdown?
Please.
So what happened was that I went to, well, the first story was that I saw a play and there was an actress in it that I quite fancied. That's the story.
Everything starts the same with you, Mike.
Yeah, there's no variety. And she,
Oh my God.
she was doing a play at a theatre, well, I don't think exists anymore, called The Half Moon. And it was called Grand Larceny. And it was how about a building company accidentally set fire to listed buildings
Wow.
so that they could build on the site.
Oh.
And it was about the battle to save Wilton's Music Hall, which was a derelict building. And I just became obsessed with the idea of this music hall. And I knew from the text of the play where it was. And there was no sat-nav in those days. And so I went in search of it at 3 o'clock one morning when I happened to be down in the city of London. I don't remember why. And I get to, it was on it still is on Wellclose Square. And I get there and I look around and I can see nothing that resembles a music hall except one building which had cast iron bollards outside to tether a horse to, that, you know, really high ones.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah.
But that was an office block, as it turned out. The bollards, as it turned out, are listed bollards. They can't do anything about them. And there was a theatre there which collapsed on opening night, killing 1,100 people.
No.
But it was not Wilton's. And then I was just getting back into the car and I suddenly noticed the shadow of this hall and behind a row of houses. And I looked, and sure enough, it was a little thing like this big on the door. It said Wilton's Music Hall. And I was absolutely obsessed with it. And every time I would go down just to look at it.
East End?
In the East End, East One, at the back of Cable Street, around there. And I used to go down and look at it. And one day I looked at it, and there on the door was a planning notice to revitalize it as a theatre.
Okay.
And I wrote to the guy whose name was on the notice. It was an actor called Peter Honry, and said I'd be very interested to know what your plans are. And he invited me to come and have a look at the building. Well, I went in to have a look at it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. There was this beautiful derelict building with this really ornate balustrade.
I have to go to visit it.
It had barley. Well, it still has. It's held up by cast iron columns, which are fluted in their design. They look like barley sugar twists, and they hold it up. And the balcony is held up by that.
Oh wow!
And it was already listed. John Betjeman, the poet, had got it listed.
Wow!
And he invited me to join the steering committee for that theatre, so I did. And I went to my first meeting, just to go to one side for a moment. And I walked in early, which is something I've never done before nor since. And there were two people already there, and there were two people that I worked with for the whole of their lives after that in different fields. One was a producer called Ian Liston, and one was the legendary Sylvia Young of the Sylvia Young Theatre School. That's how I met Sylvia.
Oh, wow.
And I'm still on the board of the Sylvia Young Theatre School.
And that's amazing.
I started it with Sylvia, and I'm still with I'm still on the board of Sylvia's.
Yeah.
We lost Sylvia in 2025. No, last year. Last year. Unfortunately, but I'm still on the board of Sylvia.
Well done.
But anyway, so back to Wilton's. The problem was they weren't a charity. I formed the charity.
Oh, yes.
And then I managed to somehow, and I can't remember how, get a wedge-shaped piece of the stage registered in the name of the charity.
Okay.
Once we had that, no one could do anything else with the rest of it.
Oh, well done.
Now, Ken Livingstone, Mayor of London, hated the place.
Why?
And so he sold it without telling us. We didn't know. Our questions were asked in the chamber of the Greater London Council, and he answered a different question, and nobody picked up on it, and he sold it to a developer. So I went cap in hand to the developer, who had an office on a barge on the Thames, and said to him, why do you want a listed building, part of which you don't own? Because we own that bit.
Yes.
He said, well, I don't really. I actually want the bit you're using as the car park. So I suggested to him that for what they call planning gain, you get planning permission, you have to pay something or give something to the community. Why don't you give the hall back to the trust? So he did. I couldn't believe it. He agreed. He agreed to do it. And so we got the hall given to us.
Sometimes you just have to ask, yeah?
And then we owned it instead of the GLC.
Nice.
And that's how we started to save it. We raised £300,000 to make it wind and watertight.
Oh, yeah.
And then we managed to get a letting. I think we actually staged a production of T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland in it. And then we got an opera company taking it over. And from there, and then I devised a plan where there was another trust set up. We donated the hall to the other trust. Therefore, the value of that donation counted for matching funding from the lottery. And that's how Wilton's was saved. And But that took me 23 years.
Well done.
To do. So that was
23 years.
I was on that for 23 years.
That was a long fight.
Yeah. Then I said, I've been on the board of Sylvia Young's for 40 years. You're talking about boards that are going back to...
Yes.
42 years probably. I'm a lot older than I look. You do know that.
No, you're 45?
Not yet.
45. You were saying before the cause of starting a few things were the beautiful actresses or the dancers. Yeah.
Well, that's why I started.
I get you 100%. I started dancing with 12. I went into the dance hall in those times in Romania, and I was like, I don't want to leave. I thought, who wants to go to play football when you're in the dance hall? So I get you.
Well, the reason I started dancing socially was because there was a girl I wanted to go out with, and she said, I can't go out with you unless you learn to do Ceroc. The dancing was Ceroc.
We're going to talk about Ceroc.
And that's how that started.
Beautiful.
I thought, right, well, that can't be that difficult. I'm going to learn to do it.
I saved the theater to learn a dance. It's not going to be that difficult.
No, I remember dates. I remember details.
That was certainly very, very important for your solicitor career,
for the work,
and obviously being a judge to after a few sessions to still know what happened at the beginning of the trial.
If you had anything that was going on for more than a day, it was a test of memory. I got to a stage where I could actually take notes almost as fast as I could speak.
Oh, beautiful.
Unfortunately, my handwriting has never been terribly good, but I ended up typing. By the time I finished, I only finished last year, I ended up typing the notes, and even then I was getting really good at it, so that it was almost as people were speaking. And of course, we recorded everything, but only from 1989 onwards.
Okay.
Before that, we didn't.
So you have to write everything down.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot of work. When you meet someone, it's about titles, it's about jobs. I do this, I do that. How were you when people meet you outside of all of these boards and jobs that you do? Who do they discover first? Michael Shelton. Who are you? What would you say? You as a personality.
First and foremost, obviously the supermodel. After that,
correct.
I think entrepreneur is probably the best description, because
which is quite unusual, for a judge.
Well, I started. Well, yes, it's quite unusual for a solicitor, to be quite honest, because they're fairly
as well. Yes,
insular and
I know
focused, and I've never been that.
Otis' dad is a
judge,
is
of
a
course.
judge,
Yeah.
and as well,
Yeah.
he's not very entrepreneurial actually. He's
Well,
very
no, he's
stuck,
probably very well. I've met him. He's
Yeah.
academic.
for sure.
Most judges are very
Yes.
focused, which is good. That's not me. Well, I was focused on the cases when I was
Of
doing them,
course.
believe me,
Yeah.
because the amount of detail you have to assimilate and then how to apply it, it's the word is judgecraft to
Yeah.
put everything together.
I was in his office in Pretoria and I was so impressed. Like the amount of books and amount of knowledge he has, unbelievable.
You never came to see me in court.
You see, I should.
Well, actually, some of the Young Vic company in the early days used to come and watch me in court when I was an advocate,
Oh, wow.
when I was defending people.
Okay.
At least they didn't give me a round of applause. That would have been too embarrassing.
Too much. Before the committee rooms and official roles, now also with the DanceSport Federation, you do the disciplinary.
I'm president of the Disciplinary Council of the World DanceSport Federation.
Exactly.
That's right, yes.
What first made DanceSport feel important enough to claim a real place in your life?
There was no one incident. It was that I was, as I had earlier with actors, I wasn't mixing with lawyers socially. I was mixing I got to mix with dancers socially.
Very unusual.
It was, but you get together in a room of people with the same interest. It's all you talk about.
Mm.
That's why I didn't want to be with lawyers. I wanted to leave that at the door of the court.
Yeah, I get that.
I didn't want to take it home with me. I didn't want to sit and... I had a very dear friend who sadly is no longer with us, who was a brilliant QC, would have been a KC now. And every Wednesday he used to sort of hold court, as it were, in a Greek restaurant in Archway. And all these lawyers used to come to it. And all they'd talk about was this case and that case they'd been involved in. And I thought...
You were bored.
And I used to leave at 9 o'clock to go and do Ceroc in Cricklewood.
Ceroc, what a wonderful platform. Unbelievable.
It's wonderful because if you can, really, it's a walking dance. Nobody ever tells you what to do with your feet.
I was in Twyford a few weeks ago. I loved it. They are starting to do competitions. I mean, they started a while ago. And you developed the judging system.
That's right. I used to.
I'm working with them now, and I'm trying to help them in that sense to get even more, let's say, more direction, DanceSport, and more.
Next time you go to Ceroc evening, I'll come with you. Let me know.
That would be nice. That would be really nice. So, you were inside the professional division as well.
Well, yes. Before that, before the professional division was formed, there was the International Professional DanceSport Council.
Yes,
and it was going to be formed. It was going to be voted to be formed at the WDSF AGM in Barcelona where are we now? 2007.
Around 2010.
No, 2007.
All right.
And the vote was taken to form it.
Mm.
And there were a few people that Peter Maxwell had in mind to form part of the managing group for that.
Mm-hmm.
And one person was unable to come because her husband had been taken ill.
Mm. And
Peter said to me, "Would you mind standing in as secretary?" And that never finished. I was secretary of... Suddenly I was honorary secretary of the International Professional DanceSport Council. And 3 years later, I think in 2010, in Vienna, on a very, very hot day. In fact, there was a tropical storm at night in Vienna, and masonry was hit by lightning.
Wow.
What a stormy night. And the IPDSC was... the professional division of the WDSF was formed. And then there was another meeting in Vienna a little later in the year, and the IPDSC was formally dissolved and handed all its undertakings to the WDSF professional division.
Yes. From the inside, what did that period revealed to you about DanceSport? Because you were heavily involved then, I suppose.
The politics were and are disproportionate to the end result. because
That's a quote. I will write it here.
a dancer, a well-known professional dancer, once said to me after a couple of drinks, "I don't know why they keep having all these bodies. It's only the bloody foxtrot." And that is a phrase which I think you should. That's one we should all have tattooed. It's only the bloody foxtrot.
I agree 100%, Mike. It's just dance. I say the same. Guys, let's not overthink it.
But it was nice because of the then WDC, I maintained and still maintain many of my friendships because, of course, I'm not involved in a way which can interfere with anything outside of the WDSF, and also our function within the WDSF is very focused and very well documented, in that we're basically the disciplinary council is a last resort when everything else has failed.
Correct.
So if a complaint has been made to the presidium, for example, and the person complaining feels that the presidium hasn't dealt with it, then they come to us and make an application to us to reconsider. So we're effectively, if you like, the appellate body from the presidium. That's an example. And if we feel they should do something, and we can make our decision and refer it back. We don't get that many referrals because of the way it works. We're not meant to, but we have had 4 or 5 in the last 12 months. Different things.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's let's say a lot of not always pleasant stuff happening around that job.
Some of it is quite surprising, and some of it is quite petty.
Yeah.
And obviously, I can't go into any detail.
Of course. I don't want.
But I'm very fortunate on the disciplinary council in that the WDSF, as you probably know, is constituted under Swiss law.
Yes.
Which is not like English law. Fortunately, they retain Swiss sports lawyers, and if I get stuck, I can refer to them. And we did have an issue a couple of years ago when I was first appointed where I had to be in touch with them all the time because it had become so convoluted.
Complex.
But really, and the other thing is we're a Swiss organization with our statutes written in English because the international language of sports is English.
True.
And I have a head start on them there because I speak it. So that works well.
I remember about this. We were having the first contract for Oti when she started Strictly Come Dancing, and our agent was German. And she was like, the contract is in English, so I'm going to go to translate it in German. It's going to be around 2,000 euros. And Oti was like, well, I speak English. If you don't, that's your problem. I'm going to read it. I'm fine. That was the funniest thing, which was like, no, it's fine. Don't. I'm not going to pay that.
In fact, you couldn't have come to me by then because by then I was a judge. So,
that's true.
Yes, because I'm bilingual German, so it's not a problem.
Yeah.
For me, I could.
Are you fluent in German?
I'm bilingual. I write it. I read it.
Also, auf geht's, Mike.
We'll do the whole thing in German.
Leg mal los.
For our viewers, we'll do the whole thing in German now.
Switch undertitle we're gonna have. No, let's mix it up a little bit. I have 20 rapid questions.
Oh,
you have 1 minute time. I'm not gonna boil an egg.
I saw the time I thought we were going to boil an egg. I got very excited. I thought, finally we eat.
Oh my God. Let me focus because I have to read. You have to give quick answers, so don't overthink it, yeah? All right, 20 questions. Let's go. The first one, theater or ballroom?
Oh, theater.
Dusk or dawn?
Dusk.
Do you trust first impressions?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Tea or wine?
Wine. But you didn't ask coffee.
Do you enjoy being in charge?
Yes.
Judges or lawyers? Who are tougher?
Lawyers.
Formal dinner or casual pub?
No, formal dinner.
Do you still get nervous before big events?
No.
Is diplomacy more useful than honesty in dance sport?
There's not enough diplomacy.
Is ballroom today more political than artistic?
It's about 50-50, which is a shame. It should be more artistic.
West End backstage or competition backstage?
That's an even bet. Either.
Yeah.
Either.
Do you enjoy debate?
Yes.
Do you sing along in the car?
Yes.
We drove a few times.
And in the shower.
Would you rather chair a panel or host a party?
Oh, host a party.
I was sure about that. Have you ever fallen asleep during a long meeting?
No.
Oh, very good. I did.
No.
Is fairness harder than people think?
Fairness is
Oh, you're so
the
good.
hardest thing. Yes. Very much so.
Yeah. Swimming or backgammon?
What time?
What time of the day?
is the answer. I will do backgammon, any excuse, swimming, preferably. Well, I swim before breakfast every day anyway.
Still now?
Yeah, every day.
Did you open the pool?
I never close the pool. I swim outdoors all year.
Can dance sport ever be completely objective?
Only if these political barriers are dropped and the parties unite.
Do you switch off easily after an event?
Immediately.
That's the best. Would you still choose this world all over again? The dance world? I mean, do you have fun in the dance world?
I have.
Oh, you're so good.
I have more fun than the people who are in it. I think.
That's great.
Yeah, I have a great time in it because I'm only in it to a limited amount.
Yeah.
I'd take that back to the shop if I were you.
You're fast half of the time. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. We have a little break from our wonderful guest, but please don't forget to share, to subscribe to the channel, and like, of course, if you love our conversation. Let's go back to our guest. So we had a guest last time, and we opened the Golden Atlas because we are like, let's see what we know about each country, if they have dance sport or not. And she opened the atlas to Pakistan, and we were like, it's something happening there. What do you think? Is dance sport popular in Pakistan?
There is no Pakistan member of the WDSF.
Exactly.
Neither an associate
That's
member.
correct.
And I think even now, I don't know, I think the WDO might have a Pakistan
Oh, really?
member.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure they've got an Indian member.
Okay. Because on the Olympic channel, I did 3 years Olympic channel as a commentator, and the most views we had actually from People's Republic of China, India, and Pakistan second, and America third, and Europe after.
You know, what's interesting is that in the People's Republic of China, they reckon there are 30 million active dance sport competitors. 30 million.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so we have to catch up.
We had a WDSF AGM in Shanghai not that long ago.
Yeah.
Actually, it was that long ago. It was 2013. It's all coming back.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Couldn't get a decent Chinese meal. I remember it well.
Yeah, so they have a little bit. So in Pakistan, they have pockets of Latin dance activities, especially major cities, but not really a lot going on. More is the urban scene with more salsa and similar, let's say, social dancing. So not a lot of dance sport. If somebody's watching from Pakistan, there is a big market there, I'm sure.
I'm sure you'd like to make an application to
Yeah.
to be an affiliate of British Dance Sport Federation.
Yeah, they have to just ask us. So you want to pick a country that maybe you know something about it? Maybe if
Do
you,
I just open that and pick a country?
just open,
Just pick it and
pick a country and tell me
All
which
right,
country.
Let's do that.
Which country you got? What is it?
New Guinea.
I knew you were gonna pick something ridiculous.
Wonderful.
Did you visit it ever, New Guinea?
No, I've only been towards. I've only been to Australia once, and it's an awfully long way to go.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, people keep saying to me, "You should go to New Zealand. It's beautiful," and I'm
Yeah.
sure it is. But I can see more or less the same things in Norway within the space of an hour and a half. And Norway is utterly the most stunning country.
I hear a lot.
The only
of
thing is the food is all fermented and cured, and it's been. I always joke with my Norwegian friends that if you go and buy food in any other country in the world, you look in the shops and it says best before, and in Norway it says best after, because everything's been preserved for so long.
That's a good one. So I go to Iceland for 17 years now, and I have amazing experiences there. And the food is good. I like. They have a lot of fish, but everything else.
No, I like fish.
Yeah, they have everything. So I mean, a lot of potatoes, but
oh well. Now you're talking.
Welcome to Great Britain.
That's it. Yes, that's it.
All right, let's go a little bit into the DanceSport industry. What would you change in the DanceSport world? That's such a big question.
Yes, but it's also a fairly easy answer. One governing body. Now, it's a nice thing to say. It doesn't work in DanceSport, certainly. It's not worked in DanceSport, but it's ridiculous because it is just the one thing.
Yeah.
And with it would come one judging system and fairness. But it doesn't work in skating. It doesn't work in boxing. There are, I think, now 5 boxing organizations.
5 already?
I think so. There were certainly 4 a little while, but I think they're now 5.
Okay.
It doesn't work in darts.
Oh, okay.
Because people want to be in control. And I don't see why, because if you are in control, it is stress. Because there's always somebody trying to oust you. It's the same as we're seeing here politically now. Once you're in, somebody wants to get you out from within your own party. It's the same thing. And people are jostling for position. And I come back to it's only the bloody foxtrot. Come on, guys. You know, it's what is all this about? Why? What do you want to be in control for when theoretically these organizations are not ones from which you're not paid to do anything unless you're doing it full time. But even then, so what? But you're not paid to be on the board of anything. The WDSF Disciplinary Council is unpaid, and there are 9 of us on it, a number of whom are fully qualified lawyers. And to take time off if you're in practice to do something without pay, but which the people on the Disciplinary Council do willingly, because we have a system whereby we have to nominate what they call a chamber in charge to adjudicate on each issue. And it has to be at least 1 lawyer and 2 other people of good standing within the committee, where we've got a few lawyers. I think 4 of the 9 of us are lawyers. And it's really helpful.
Of course, I can imagine.
But none of us are Swiss lawyers.
Maybe in the future. To do that, of course, it will need it to get probably the presidents of each of these organizations to put them together, to have a meeting, to see if it's something that they would consider.
Well, it was fragmentation really between the WDC and what is now the WDSF started some time ago, because what happened was there was effectively an agreement that it was then called the IDSF, would look after all the amateur dancing, and the WDC would be professionals only.
Yes.
And then there was this, I think it was this movement for the IPDSC really which started it, and then you had an amateur league for the WDC, and that's when it was all out war.
Yeah.
That's what
when
happened.
the professional division came as well.
I think the professional division, the IPDSC came, what became the professional division effectively.
Yeah.
Because it was, I can understand that if you choose dance as a career, you'll start as an amateur, you work your way up, but you want continuity as a professional.
Correct.
So you need a body with which you can continue to dance, where you can continue to build up your ranking, and so on. And somebody has to run that. But why it can't be one? Because although I've got to tell you, having watched competitions which were under BDC rules or whatever, and WDSF rules, if I watch people doing the cha-cha-cha, I can't tell you which rules they're dancing under. And somebody said to me, former champion dancer, she said to me some time ago, she said, the trouble is, it's always the same. People become champions and stay champions for years. There's no variety in it. But she said, but I've got to tell you, I can't tell the difference between what's supposed to be the artistic type of dancing and the sporting type of dancing. And I thought that summed it up quite succinctly, because if I watch it, and I know a little bit about it, I don't profess to know a lot about it, if I watch it, I couldn't tell you, if I didn't know whose competition I'm at.
I agree.
What are they doing, you know?
And anyway, teachers are transitioning from one to the other.
Oh, they have to. Yeah.
So they are teaching everywhere, most of them.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like because you have these certain teachers, or is the style more sportive or more,
but
more classical?
It's not with style, but because you have these certain teachers, if they had affiliations to one body or another, they will tell their students, you need to go with WDC, you need to go with WDO,
Obviously.
you need to go with WDSF.
Obviously. They influence the students, yes.
And those strong affiliations, they actually go back to when somebody beat them into third place at Blackpool in 1937. And it really does go back that far. It's historical dislike of who beat you and shouldn't have in their personal opinion. That's really...
And then if you take the judges from 1937, there was not so much transparency in those times.
Oh, no. Well, I think 1937 is pushing it, but even in the 1960s, it was really only... certainly in the 50s and 60s, everything was centered here. And the Americans came here to dance because we had the structure.
The system.
Yeah,
you know what Peter told me, Maxwell, he told me my title was one of the most important professional titles because I had no private lessons with any of the judges.
That's right. That's right. And of course, if you're adjudicating at a WDSF event, if it's someone who's one of your students, you can't adjudicate in that event. You can't adjudicate your own students.
No, you can adjudicate your students, but if you adjudicate too positive, they take you out and they can sanction you for a period of time.
Yeah.
But you cannot if it's from the ethics, you cannot adjudicate anyone who is, of course, family, but also if you lived with that person. So in the when we signed the
that narrows the field down.
I can't adjudicate.
Can't adjudicate on. No.
After a life spent around judgment in different forms.
Oh, yes.
That's more your way. What do you think is the difference between being obeyed, being respected, or being trusted?
Obeying is something which I really never came across. Nobody's there to obey me. Respected and trust, I think it's not necessarily.
It's more the coach's side, and
you have to gain the trust, and then from that, hopefully, respect will build.
Yeah,
and that's the right way to do it.
Yes,
and the most important thing is to be respected. Yes. At the end of the day,
and respect generally. Yeah, it's everything.
Absolutely,
it starts with respect.
Oh, yes.
That's why I love UK so much, because the way of speaking, how much I lived in Germany 15 years. It's not that they don't respect each other, but they are more direct and more straight to the point. So all the let's say beautiful way of dealing with each other is many times not there. And I have great friends in Germany, and sometimes after staying in the UK for a long time and not going to Germany, I'm like, guys, you're a little bit too much. Yes, let's just tone it down a little bit. Let's be just nice a little bit and just relax. Don't be so.
Yeah.
We have to do this. We have to do this. Like, it's too much. You're stressing me out.
Well, it was interesting that after I'd when did I leave the professional division? I think it was 2013 I left the professional division. The people who took over at the election when I retired from the professional division, it became really well governed because a wonderful lady called Verena Sulek was running it, and she really did rule it, and she really did run it, and she sacrificed everything to run the professional division.
I remember.
She's a wonderful lady.
I respect her a lot as well.
Absolutely.
She was here in London as well when we did the event. She's amazing.
Yeah, and I really have a lot of time for her and her husband.
Yes,
Drago.
yes,
Lovely.
Drago, yeah, lovely. Yeah.
But she and Drago really devoted their lives to running it. The time they put into it. She also was the treasurer, and the accounts were kept to within a penny.
Yeah, I remember.
To the last penny of accuracy. You couldn't question what she did and the way she did it. Wonderful, wonderful lady.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, and that obedience, it's I think always the big issue. Yeah, I think that's what coaches, and because they are judging as well, and that mixture of being a coach and being a judge, it's quite interesting. I was speaking with some friends. I'm helping a little bit in the ice skating part, and here in Crystal Palace. That huge ring, it's beautiful there, and I'm speaking with coaches there, and I see, because the judges are not allowed actually to coach and to teach, but they are allowed to verify choreographies.
I can understand.
And I was like,
okay, you work
all right. So that's not a private lesson, but is somehow a way of getting directly in touch with the coaches and the couples. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, people find ways to go around, and then that authority of being a judge and then being a coach is used in I think many wrong ways, and then building up little villages, little teams. Then
empire.
It starts to be more and more, not
it's all right.
Not the best for the
if you're training people for the team match, that's one thing. But on the other hand, but if you're coaching, you do have to be, I think, a bit stricter, because you actually are there to coach, to tell people how they should be doing it. And there are ways and ways, but
I mean, you can be a technical coach and you can be a tactical coach in terms of which competition you should, like you said, which federation you should dance. Yeah. And what I think, that everything starts with the judges. The judges, if judges will have all licenses in all federations.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
The rules aren't that different. Why not?
I mean, we all use Walter Laird and Alex Moore from the book side. Is based on those two books. Even in Germany, they teach after those. In the UK, anyway. Or, of course, there are other books.
But Lorraine, of course.
Yes, you're based on those books.
Who used to dance with Walter Laird. Some years ago, before I was involved, other than one or two people I knew socially in dance, I was invited to see a demonstration which Peter Maxwell did with Lorraine of the basic Latin steps at the Semley.
Beautiful.
And I didn't know much.
What a place.
What a place. And I didn't know much about dancing, but I walked into that room and I knew that all around was dancing royalty.
Mm.
You knew it. You could see it from the people, from the way they carried themselves, from where they positioned themselves to watch.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
No, Semley, I have a few amazing memories there. Still going to Hans' lessons, and it was a magnificent place. Those practices before big events, it was just like
Oh, yeah.
My eyes were popping out of my brain.
Oh,
It was
those big
unbelievable.
practices?
Yeah, it was
They were
unbelievable.
incredible.
It's like Ceroc, but to the next level.
Yeah, a couple of...
To a different level. Greetings to Ceroc.
Actually, I'll tell you something. Carmen, ex-world champion, Vincher, she said to me, if ever I'm asked by people where they should start doing ballroom or Latin, I say, you start with Ceroc and then go into...
Good.
She said that.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. No, it's amazing. It's amazing. And not that we are being paid by Ceroc, but it's amazing organization.
Thank you to our sponsors, Ceroc.
I'm going to tell Tim. Tim, you are on it. All right. There are a few questions, but what I wanted to ask you more, it's about you were in musical theater a long time, and it's
and
for me
theater, and non-musical theater.
Yes, but in musical theater you invested because I will love to show dancers and parents of dancers there is a way to also earn money through dancing, to have a career in dancing, because of course parents, when I started to dance, my parents never thought I will be a dance teacher, you know, especially in Romania in those times. So of course in DanceSport you can have a dance school, you can do private lessons, you can be then a judge, you can be whatever. There are different ways of going to that. In musical theater, because we have quite a few, and our first guest was somebody from musical theater, very successful, also an actor in movies, and she's doing ballroom dancing and she loves it. Kira is one of our students, and so that's a lot about musical theater. But you came as an investor in musical theater.
Yes, that was as a result of reading a paper one lunchtime. I tell you, everything's an...
Was not a lady?
No, that was once it was. And I'll tell you the story. The Evening Standard used to publish a lunchtime edition. I used to go and get a sandwich from my office, and go, it was well before I was a judge, and then sit there, have a sandwich and read the paper, and that was my lunch hour. And I was reading this article. There was a show opening in town, and the composer had mortgaged his house, and the producer was desperate to raise money. And I thought, I'm going to have a go at this. And I phoned the producer, who answered his own phone. I said, I've never invested in theatre. I would like to. Yes, please, said the producer, whose name was Cameron McIntosh, answering his own phone.
Oh, wow. McIntosh.
And the show was Cats.
Wow.
And that's where I started.
Cats.
And since Cats,
I didn't know that.
1981.
You tell me that.
1980 was when I made the investment.
Oh, wow.
And it opened in May 1981.
Well done.
45 years ago.
And you're still one of the shareholders.
The show closed 21 years later.
But they still started. And...
Yeah, but it's only in that production.
Ah, right. It was in that production. I understand.
And since then, I have done 240, 250 shows, something like that. I've lost count.
You didn't.
And I've done straight plays, and I've done a lot of productions which, frankly, lost every penny.
How did you do that?
Over the years. I've been doing it for 45 years. 240 is not that many.
No. I think that's many. We had our tour.
I did actually lose count of about 190, and that was a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
And I've even co-produced 5 things. I had a play that ran in the West End for a year, and then sunk without trace. And lost a lot of money, but it ran for a year. It was called Nonsense, the Funny Nunny Musical.
You should have. It was everything in the name.
Oh, there was a song in it called Drop Kick Me Jesus Through the Goalposts of Life. I am not joking. There really was. There really was. And Honor Blackman, who played Pussy Galore in the first James Bond film.
Okay.
She was Mother Superior.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So that was expensive, probably.
And funny enough, when you go to that theatre, which is where they're showing Operation Mincemeat, you look at the programme, and it says all the plays at that theatre, they never mention nonsense. And I wonder why.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
But I know one of them was Phantom of the Opera.
I had money in Phantom, yes. I had quite a lot of money in Phantom. That was more by luck than by judgment. And until the pandemic, that really was the investment which, in all honesty, thank you, Sir Cameron, paid me mortgage.
Oh, beautiful. I know the story with your mortgage as well, with Sylvia as well, but that's going to talk about it another story.
Yeah, totally, that's another story. Yes, Sylvia, Sylvia, very kindly, without being asked, lent me some money for a few weeks before I sold my flat, so that I could get the work done at the house before moving in, which was wonderful.
Wonderful. Well,
I never
done.
asked.
Sylvia
just wrote out a check. I don't know if you remember checks, but I
remember checks.
You remember that? You're older than you.
Mike Eller still gives me checks sometimes.
Mike,
I'm like, Mike, what you doing?
God, you're in a
what
field.
do I do with this?
You're in a field of one. If Mike gives you a check, good grief.
No, it was actually for the federation, not for myself.
Oh yeah.
But, when we started it. But yeah, it's an interesting world. This a musical, because we did tours, and we had an investor for our tour when we did with Ian Waite in 2018, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, it was. And then I learned first time how something like this works.
Oh yes.
It's even a tour which looks quite, let's say, small production. You have to move from hall to hall.
Oh,
and
the costings.
We had 75 shows in that summer. I will never forget that summer.
I used to have, and I maybe still have it at home somewhere in my archives, a sheet which I compiled with every possible expense in running a show. And it went on it was ruled into sections, like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And it was 6 A4 pages, back to back,
unbelievable,
of everything that is in it.
So would you advise someone to invest?
I would advise someone to go to the racetrack and bet on a horse, because the odds are about the same of it getting in, probably better at the racetrack. Last time I went to the racetrack, I remember going to Lingfield Park at the all-weather course on a winter meeting. It was a long time ago, and it was a 3-horse race. And one of those horses, and I'll never forget this, was called Titus Andronicus, and it was 100-1 in a 3-horse race. And I thought, I'm going to bet on that horse. This was 28 years ago. That horse is still out there. It hasn't finished yet. It's still out there. And
he's trying.
But I've had one or two other lucky touches. Les Miserables still, thankfully, paying out.
Yes.
40.
I had some friends in Les Mis.
40 years.
Wow. So you see,
again,
the other 200 that failed were paid by this one.
Yes, but I've also Fleabag.
Oh yeah,
I had that, and Peppa Pig theatricals.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Peppa Pig.
Of course, I know. I have a daughter. I know Peppa Pig.
There you are, Peppa Pig theatre.
My best friend, Peppa Pig, right now.
I've got bits of Peppa Pig.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So those
and pantos? Did you ever invest in pantos?
That's a very specific market, the panto. That's really a difficult market. It's a limited run. It's a very limited run. I have been asked to invest in pantomimes. They tend to take a while to get going because panto writing is an art.
Yeah.
And there's a most wonderful lady called Susie McKenna. And she developed the pantos for the Hackney Empire.
Okay.
And now she's doing the pantos for the theatre at Catford, which is beautiful theatre.
Beautiful.
Council-owned theatre, beautiful theatre. And that's building. I think this will be the 3rd or 4th year she's done that. And her writing of pantos is just exquisite.
I have to go and watch the show.
It's interesting to follow what she does.
Okay.
She's a really, really nice lady.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. And to go shortly back before we conclude, 32 years as a judge.
Yes.
How was that?
It was a completely different perspective to being on one side or the other. Suddenly you get balance of hearing both sides' arguments. And when you're on one side or another, of course you have to try to anticipate what the other side might do. But it's not always as easy. But when you've got all the papers, everything's been disclosed in advance, and you can see what both sides are going for, that is a completely different perspective. It's true balance.
Yeah.
And it's the true and most pure application of law.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. It gives you definitely, because I was speaking with Otis' dad, with Judge Peter, and then, yeah, he was telling me about cases that they were very complex. You did more commercial?
No, as a judge, I was
You're
doing the
specialized-
money side of divorce.
Oh, money side of divorce.
I specialized in that.
All right.
And you really did get some...
Okay. Not so
I'm
easy
obviously
stories.
unable to go into any
Yes,
detail.
of course.
But the other thing is that once you've read everything, and if you've got if you have, I'm blessed that my memory is actually really quite sharp, and you know that somebody is saying something that is not true, it is so easy to catch them out. But you can't be too interventionist. But every so often, when I was sitting as a judge, and somebody would say something which was clearly not what they'd said before and didn't tie in with everything. And I would always have this thing that I would sit there and I go, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but how old do you think I am? And they went, what? I said, no, go on, have a guess. How old do you think I am? And if they were being flattering, they'd say, 40. I said, no, nice try again. 45. I said, nice try, but whatever it is, we can now all agree that I wasn't born yesterday. Now let's have that question again, and let's see what you say this time.
Let's go in the right direction. For the dance world, because you have this perspective of law, to, let's say, break the routine they are in right now, what would be an action, let's say a clear action that should happen? What do you think?
I can't understand why in the dance world there is this desire for control. I don't see what it achieves. I think to break the impasse between the organizations, you've only got to go to a Freedom to Dance event to see how those barriers can be broken down. Because when I went to that recent event in London,
organized by Richard
Grieve and Augusto Schiavo.
And Augusto and Grieve, yes.
Augusto is a very good friend of mine. And there were people there from all sides. And people were talking. And when people talk, it generates something. And what it generates is business. Because if you are, let's say, WDSF, and you won't speak to anybody from WDC, you're and your job as a dance teacher, you're immediately shutting out the ability to take on more students. You're hurting yourself in the pocket by standing on your principles. Now, a lot of people will do that, but it's not productive. I think if people would just take some commercial sense and realize that by having these barriers, they're hurting themselves financially. If that realization were to come through, I think the barriers might be, as we say in Les Miserables, torn down.
Yes.
Tear down the barriers.
Yes, beautiful. That's more or less the question that I have now. We discuss, because you have so many incredible moments in your career, and most of them, they were because of the right ladies were in the right picture.
Quite a lot of those.
But what is something unique you did that most people wouldn't have done, and that changed your life?
Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh, where do I...
Maybe one that changed your trajectory of your...
I think my friend having a nose job and my picking up that leaflet, that was the day my life
You
changed.
see? That's it.
If I was to point to that pivotal moment, it was the night I picked up that leaflet.
Now you would have been
And
with
went down to
just
Stratford.
some solicitors.
I would have been an incredibly
talking.
successful retired multimillionaire. However, I chose to have fun.
That's good.
And I think choosing to have fun is really what it's all about.
Fun, I think that's a good way to see everything what's happening around.
If you just
find the fun in everything.
Live for pleasure, you won't have another chance.
I agree 100%. 100%. All right, let's go to music.
Yes.
What is your favorite music to dance right now?
It varies from day to day, but I would say right now I'm listening a lot more to bossa nova.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Is there a certain song from bossa nova, its title that
you know, I
have
heard
in mind?
a song for the first time yesterday that I had never heard.
Okay.
And it's by Antonio Carlos Jobim, who wrote Girl from Ipanema and Wave and things like that, and Corcovado. And it was called Two Kites.
Two Kites. Okay, we're going to have it on our playlist. Okay, so we have always from the previous guest, we have a question. Yes. And then you should ask a question for the next guest, whoever should be. So the question from Kira was?
I would say, what made you fall in love with dance?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So,
as I'm still in touch with her, I'm not going to give you her name.
Oh my! This answer is the one. I think that's an answer that resonates with quite a few.
Honestly, there are days when something happens connected with dance, and I actually say thank you to her out loud.
Wow,
there really are.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, beautiful.
If she's watching this, she knows who she is.
I'm sure. I'm sure. If you would have to ask a guest that we will have in the future a question, but you don't know who it is, best would be about DanceSport. What question would you ask?
If you had the opportunity to ask any composer, living or dead, to write some music for you to dance to, who would it be and why?
Oh, I love that one. That's going to be a tricky one.
Oh, yes.
All right. Any other thoughts, Mike, that you would like to share with the dance community?
Think commercial, don't think control.
Okay. That's good. That's a good one.
That's a good
one. We will keep it in mind. All right. Thank you so much, Mike. That was unbelievable. I loved it so much. So you see why you are a guest? Because you have quite a few stories.
It was looks, really, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
for
looks.
sure, for sure. But also the stories you have is unbelievable. Did you thought about writing a book?
Funnily enough, I am thinking about writing a book right now. I've had a concept which is going to challenge thoughts. I've got a couple of friends who are philosophers, and I'm going to sit down with them in about 2 weeks' time, just under 2 weeks' time.
There we go.
To
read your mind
through
now.
what I'm thinking about. So actually, I was originally going to do it as a YouTube thing. But I think it's actually better as a book, as if the YouTube thing had taken place and taken a certain path resulting from it. I'm going to do it as a fictional book. But it's something which I need to discuss with my philosopher friends.
No, definitely do that. That's amazing. No, you have so many stories. You have to tell them. And we were driving one time, I remember, through London, and you told me that hotel did that, and that you know everything about every building.
The buildings I'm very good
buildings at. in London.
I mean, I've saved.
It would be so good to.
Wilton's is not the only building I've saved from demolition.
All right.
There's a place in Clerkenwell, which has got a restaurant in it, Sessions House, and it's actually an old court.
Okay.
And for a while it was a Freemason centre, and I was invited to be a non-Masonic trustee of the charity to preserve it, and we saved that one too.
Oh wow, well done.
And it was a long time ago, and there are only 2 of us left alive from that trust.
Yeah.
And about 2 years ago, we went there, and I got talking to people, and they introduced us to the owners, who then gave us a private tour to show us what they'd done since we took it over. And my memory of the building was completely wrong. It had been so many years since I'd been in there.
Wow.
The layout, it was literally, it was through 180 degrees.
Changed. Or different.
As I remember it.
All right.
The mind does do strange things.
A while ago. Yeah. Thank you so much. And maybe we will have another game.
Please.
I need a revanche. I need a revanche in backgammon, and hopefully I'm going to win, which is not very, very easy to win against you.
Thank you for asking me. It's been great fun.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching. We had a lot of fun, a great conversation, and there's much more to come. So please don't forget to subscribe, even to share this video, to like it, and we want to see you next time here on the channel. And now I want to ask all of you, how will you break the routine today?